that to die to meet the devil. Angels fell and landed in the ghetto. The earth was given to the hands of devils. Then we seen the rise of the devil. We fell for the lies of the devil. When we got high was the devil. I looked into the eyes of the devil. I ain't had to die to meet the devil.
I remember I was only 13 when I met the demon. Gave me a deuce and a bundle of cocaine. Told me to sell to my people, make sure you keep me fiending. If any try to show you, make sure that you leave me leaking. He said,
I'ma hold you down when problems pop up.
how you got me moving this dope? Want me in lockup? He said,
Don't you want the Benz vertible with the top up?
Yeah.
Nah, bitch, you get in that kitchen, let it rock up. Bitches love the dope boy, especially when it's wop up. I know you know why.
who the plug? I'm about to block up.
I'll tell you a little secret, make sure that you keep your mouth shut. Ron got a Lexus, Crimson Philly in Texas. Trippers up Bahamas, just gotta live for his mama. He fucking up them commas, be honest, he seem decent though.
I hear you, but I just seen Ron about a week ago. Fact, he ain't looking too good. His knees is kinda slow. I asked him why the struggle, he got stuck up for his bundle. But them 6 hollow tips in his legs what made him crumble.
Bitch, he got the house, his mama is living good.
Said the feds took it all, he right back in the hood. I see you try to play me, you gave us crack in the 80s. Made us abort our babies and making hoes out our ladies. I know you got me gravy, but Satan, you must be crazy. It's gonna take more than cars when to amaze me. I seen niggas shoot for the stars, but being lazy. Never get their head at the clouds, so you don't faze me.
I guarantee that you won't regret it, remember I said it.
No, you can get it.
What you saying, I can't win?
No, death will night drop, so until we meet again.
I ain't had to die to meet the devil. Angels fell and landed in the ghetto. The earth was given to the hands of devils. Then we seen the rise of the devil. We fell for the lies of the devil. When we got high was the devil. I looked into the eyes of the devil. I ain't had to die to meet the devil. I ain't religious or superstitious, but we been getting fucked up to the side like a mistress. Police patrolling why? Because prison became a business. They murder one of ours and they start talking about forgiveness. We think that it's alright because we got public assistance. If this ain't hell, dog, what is this? Where was all lives mattered when they killed Osama? There was no peace talk like the Dalai Lama. Bush dropping bombs saying he gon' bring the drama. They got justice, man, they even caught the Boston bomber. But when we ride, they send the military in armor. When we fight oppression, then our people die a martyr. You reap what you sow, some people call it karma. When Christ return, y'all gon' get this harvest like a farmer. Don't tell me don't bring up the past no more. They still trying to settle the score with a side of Shakur. I changed my life and I'm just trying to live life right. But at night I look behind me and see flashing lights, patting me down. You got nothing that's poking me right. I don't smoke or push pills, I give up my vice. So Mr. Officer, why you wanna take my life? And your honor, why you gave our homeboys life? I've been wondering why you shot our homeboy twice. Pussy with a gun screaming after he got a knife. He came from Habibi's spot, it was chicken and rice. Shit's tripe, I'm just giving visuals like Skype. Ask Trayvon, Mike Brown, the Kai Girlie, Eric Garner, Sean Bell, Philando, Alton Sterling, Jaquan McDonald. The white man is so devilish. Ask Hammurabi, he'll tell you who the devil is. The white man is so devilish. Ask Hammurabi, he'll tell you who the devil is. I ain't had to die to meet the devil. Angels fell and landed in the ghetto. The earth was given to the hands of devils. Then we seen the rise of the devil. We fell for the lies of the devil. When we got high was the devil. I looked into the eyes of the devil. I ain't had to die to meet the devil. I ain't had to die to meet the devil. Angels fell and landed in the ghetto. The earth was given to the hands of devils. Then we seen the rise of the devil. I pray for the demise of the devil. Lord knows I despise every devil. I looked into the eyes of the devil. He said I pray for die every devil.
Extraordinary.
Unapologetic,
streets and the trouble to get in. Trying to stay strong in this world full of sin, but they wanna bring us down, they ain't wanna see us win. They wanna kill us all, Lord, tell me, can I live? Can a nigga live? Can I live? Can a nigga live? Lord, tell me, can I live? I know the hatred's deeper than the color of your skin. So can I live? Can a nigga live? Can I live? Can a nigga live? Lord, tell me, can I live? Know the hatred's deeper than the color of your skin. Can I live?
I'm at a KKK, land of the good smokers, home of the slaves, and I'm just trying to be great. Tell me, how can I live with this drama every day? I'm a light, I'm a beam in this darkness. It seems that real life is a nightmare. Can I live my dreams on this earth? Since I was young, I realized I had a destiny bigger than the fake shit that disguises what was best for me. Better than the hate and all the lies that be the death of me. As of recent, we've been hypnotized since elementary. Thought it was my skin, but studied something that was new to me. They hate me because of what my ancient ancestors used to be. Healers, teachers, deities, not all of them were kings and queens. Our nature was natural, not supernatural. Now they call it magic and voodoo, that shit ain't practical. All the roots connected, always want to learn the natural, no. Don't let the shit go over your head. Same snakes up in the garden, but the skin just shed. They'll always try to convince you that it's all in your head. Just know you gotta do better before you hit your bed. Stay away from the streets and the trouble to get in. Trying to stay strong in this world full of sin, but they wanna bring us down, they don't wanna see us win. Trying to kill us all, Lord, tell me, can I live? Can a nigga live? Tell me, can I live? Can a nigga live, Lord, tell me, can I live? I know the hate is deeper than the color of our skin. Can I live? Can a nigga live, Lord, tell me, can I live? Can a nigga live? Tell me, can I live? I know the hate is deeper than the color of our skin.
They say my rhymes cause too much excitement. Ride incitement, shit, well there's no indictments when my kinfolk get murdered by white men. Dark skin, light skin, divided and blinded. So we beef with each other, our brothers, rather than fight them. Fuck all that silence, it's time to get shit ignited. I ain't my way, no nigga. I ain't taking shit from no tars. And ain't no motherfucking nation got freedom from marching, begging for portions. Niggas ain't signing no portions. Big payback. You crackers got red in your margins. Why? They broke every treaty, slaughtered the buffalo, and then they set fire to teepees. They carved their face in mountains, but we go to jail for graffiti. We fought for this country, they gave us syphilis, it's a skeevy. We been getting robbed, yeah, we're the ones who stay behind bars. They take all our money, but they ain't wanna give us no jobs. Wasn't supposed to make it, but we stay defying the odds. It's like we really only living off the grace of our God. Can I live without getting harassed by the Sarge? Can I live without getting slammed in my car? Can I live long enough to raise my kids? Can I live long enough to see justice? Yo, can I live without getting harassed by the Sarge? Can I live without getting slammed on my car? Can I live long enough to raise my kids? Can I live long enough to see justice? I stay away from the streets and the trouble to get in. Trying to stay strong in this world full of sin, but they wanna bring us down, they ain't wanna see us win. They wanna kill us all, Lord, tell me, can I live? Can a nigga live? Can I live? Can a nigga live? Lord, tell me, can I live? I know the hatred's deeper than the color of your skin. So can I live? Can a nigga live? Can I live? Can a nigga live? Lord, tell me, can I live? Know the hatred's deeper than the color of your skin. Can I live?
Yeah. But I took an oath that I'ma stand up and blaze the truth on any motherfucker. Yeah. Hey, bury me a priest. Up at night I never sleep, contemplating how to set my people free. Bury me a priest. Revolution, I be moving, got the feds, get a pilot in these streets, nigga, bury me a priest. Was so an honor to my dad's name and died before he ever got to see. Bury me a priest. If it's ever rest, tell my kids dead and died on his feet. Bury me a priest. So cold-blooded, but the hoes love it. Posted with the low stugging. In 15, I got caught up with the wrong spot. The cop tried to whip me till my nose blooded. Now I'm fighting back. Suit up all my niggas in that black. Troopers with them killers in the cat. Catch me on the corner going hard with them motherfucking facts. Lays on your bitch ass. Drop them super chains and I get cash. Bring it to the table, then we split that. This that nation building flow to make the dance turn their neck like a whiplash. Now bury me a priest. Up at night I never sleep. Contemplating how to set my people free. Bury me a priest. Revolution I be moving, got the pants, get a body to these streets. Nigga bury me a priest. Restoring honor to my dad's name. He died before he ever got to see. Bury me a priest. You can devil rest in peace. Tell my kids that it died on his feet. Bury me a priest. I'm from the South and New Trout up in Cardell. Met a nigga by the name of Cardell. The pity ain't his real name. Put me on your birth from the cartel. Bitch ain't a snitch. Then I hit my brother up, I kinda lit. This right before the truth, that shit legit. We can ship it by the truck loaded. By in the summer, we gon' hit, nigga. Yeah. About to be the man on they bitch ass. Got green plus some hands on they bitch ass. Pop a rubber band on the bitch ass. The fuck a nigga saying on your cash. Let's slow the car down while I ride down the I-95. Thinking about my daughter's eyes on some real shit. My partner caught a case, space the time. What the fuck is going through a nigga's mind on some real shit? My daddy passed away while I was crying, but my pride won't let me keep crying. Shit. Something gotta keep shit. Cause somebody gotta make it out these streets. The bury me a priest. Up at night I never sleep. Contemplating how to set my people free. Bury me a priest. Revolution I be moving. Got the feds, get a body to these streets. Nigga bury me a priest. Restoring honor to my dad's name. He died before he ever got to see. Bury me a priest. You can devil rest in peace. Tell my kids that it died on his feet. Bury me a priest.
So he's from the DC area. Well, he originally from down south. He was in the DC school at the time.
At Great Wolf Lodge, we create safe stays for families to play with flexible schedules and space to learn. You can
take a second, we reflecting with the light of this look like I fucking love it. Wouldn't trade it to be white, now that's right. I got to write it, but the devil's redefining work. No, I don't break a fold, I need and make the note and recreate the flow. They think they making know what they forsake is so essential. Over lentils, get your issue. Guess who's on this instrumental with you? Damn it, we was family, view one red and call it spam. I'm not a fan of Antichrist, they slay the man. I sway the Tim like here I am, the son of Sam is taking shots at David Berkowitz. Pussy. A different discipline existed in this New York state of mind. Say sin, not no, not the actor, but the year we ever not one thing in mind to grind until this gavel turned his words to murder from battle. Right. Since 69, I follow protocol. This kingdom built on guide bones. So I can't love Esau, and I can't fuck with y'all. I ain't gotta say it twice, you vouching for the enemy, but look, my father ain't have a father cause of dope. I'm anti-politics, cause Christ died from a vote. How the richest nation locked the homeless up for being cold. How ironic they relating, smoking weed to getting stoned. You
trim your ways and seek they love. I'ma bring this sword back wet with a vest dipped in blood. Niggas giving up when they don't even give enough. Going nowhere fast, niggas always in a rush. I give them love cause my brothers lost. Christians eating, watch they brothers starve. No way I can serve another God. I give my love cause my brothers lost. Christians eating, watch they brothers starve. I can't serve another God.
If alpha plant-based meat can taste just like meat, then you can do anything, even drive.
All right, clap it up. All right, this is Isupk. Started out of 1 West Hall, New York, 125th Street, under Commander General Yohana. This is the scripture breakdown class. I'm Officer Abraham. We're here in Charlotte with the scripture breakdown class. If anybody has a question that they need addressed, that they need answered, this is the time to ask that question. We'll go into the scriptures, get the answer for you. You understand? Of course, if I can't get the answer for you, I definitely have the resources to get that answer for you, all right? So, I'm manning the helm. I'm doing, several things at night. So, big up to everybody being patient with me. So, if anybody doesn't have any questions, you have any questions, brother?
Could I get that the breakdown on Deuteronomy 28:16?
Yeah, go to it. I'm gonna ask you to read it. I'm gonna ask you to read it nice and loud. All right.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Okay, so of course, first of all, go backtrack. Start at Deuteronomy 28:1. Deuteronomy 28:1. Let's start at the first verse.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of thy Lord, thy God, to observe and do all his commandments, which I command this day.
So now Moses is saying, if it shall come to pass, he's giving a prophecy. It's gonna come to pass in the future if you hearken to the Lord thy God to do all his commandments in the future. Go ahead.
That the Lord thy God will set thee on high.
That the Lord is going to set you on high. The Lord is going to put you above. Go ahead.
above all nations of the earth.
Above all these nations of the earth. That's gonna happen if we obey the Lord. Stop eating pork. Don't eat crab, shrimp, and lobster. Right. Don't celebrate these other gods. Don't celebrate Mother's Day. Don't celebrate Easter and Halloween and all this other mess that the world has to offer. Don't do the things of the world. Don't sin. Don't break the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. He'll put us in power above these other nations. So clearly it's not talking about, he gonna give you power so you can be like, and do all the stuff that they doing in the Christian church. You automatically, that this is not talking about that. It's not talking about power. It's not talking about magical powers to make stuff float and move, like the Christian church like to tell you, like to make it seem like, it's power gonna come from God and you're gonna be able to point to your mailbox and money gonna be there. Right. Christianity makes the Bible, puts a magical feel on the Bible. It's like the land of Wizard of Oz or something. You know what I'm saying? You pray and you pray and you pray, you get this power, and all of a sudden you can point at your bills and do this. That's why the Christian pastor be up there doing all of this. Right. All of this. Right. And all of this stuff is because that's what Merlin the magician does. When he abracadabra kazam. That's what he does. So that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing behind all those movements. You ever notice a Christian pastor talk with their hands a lot? They do a whole lot of grabbing stuff that ain't there. Right. You understand? They do a whole lot of this and a whole lot of that. Right. It's because of some magical person or some musicians believe that things are in the realm of the magical world, Salakia. They believe that this magical spiritual world is the world that we can't see, is the thing that we can't see. So when they start to do this and this and this, they're manipulating the thing that you can't see. And what it does in your mind, it hypnotizes us in the Christian church to make us think that, he is moving something. He got some power that ain't there. So when you remember Benny Hinn? Remember Benny Hinn used to take off his jacket and swoosh, woo, and all the people just fall out. They faking, but you know what I'm saying? You get the point, right? That's what Christianity is. Christianity puts a magical feel to the Bible to where it makes you think that you just pray hallelujah all the time, and then you're going to be able to shoot powers out of your hand and make money drop at your feet, where you be dropping money at the pastor's feet, but your bills don't get paid. Right. The pastor gets the Rolls Royce and you don't get any. Your lights get cut off. You understand? Like that whole magical thing is from the Christian church. It's from Christianity and the magical realm of the Wizard of Oz. But when you read the Bible, you read this scripture here is telling us that if we do these commandments, if we follow these laws, that we're going to be set above these other nations. You understand? Like other nations are races of people. It's talking about to be in rulership over these other nations. Just like so-called America is the number one superpower of the earth right now. You understand? America is over these other nations. America America has the number one army, the number one air force, the number one superior navy, all these special branches of military to make them the superpower. It's not because they, stay in a room and say a bunch of hallelujah. It's not because on the back of the dollar it's in God we trust. That's not what makes America so great. That's not what makes America the superpower of the earth. It ain't. And back then in Deuteronomy, you understand, that was after the children came out of Egypt. That wasn't what made Egypt powerful. Right. What made Egypt powerful and what makes any nation powerful is its military might, man. It's military. Anytime, what made Alexander the Great and his empire flourish? It was the military. You understand? It was his ability to take out any fighting force that opposed his will. What made Pharaoh so powerful? It was his ability through his military, through them chariots. Those chariots was a military tactical innovation where you take a horse or two horses and put them in front of a carriage and make that horse run as fast as it can. Now you can just mow men over. You understand? You put chainmail and armor on that horse, and bows and arrows and spears won't even stop it. You understand? You can just run men right on over with that chariot and keep on going. That was a military innovation. Just like America. America got the F-15. Well, first it was the F-14 fighter. Well, first it was the gun, period. That musket, that thing, that... Pow! That thing right there, where it took three, they was timing themselves under 3 minutes to load it. And the one that was real good could load it the fastest. Yeah, it was that long musket gun. That was the first military innovation that built America. It was that gun. Then it was the Gatling gun. Then it was the semi-automatic rifle, the one where you could load bullets in. 8 pow 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 pow. The semi-automatic. Boom 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 boom. And you didn't have to every time tear off the bag and do this and pack it down. It was the bullet, you understand, that had the gunpowder cartridge already in it. You could load it up, bow, 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 bow. Then it was the automatic, you understand, where you can load it on full clip, pow, 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 pow. Then it was the Gatling, full clip. Then it was that, you understand? Then on and on and on and on, the cannon. Then it was flight. You understand, with the Wright brothers. You want to know why they kill themselves to make all them planes, to circle the thing, to go up. All the, black and white movies you used to see of them trying to fly is because they knew that air superiority would advance the military, and that would lead to superiority over the earth, man. You understand? So now this scripture is talking about rulership. And it's saying if we obey God's laws, we'll be above. We'll have rulership above all these other nations. We'll become that superpower of the earth. All right, keep going.
Verse 2. And all of these blessings shall come on thee.
All the blessings, all the blessings of the earth, all the benefits of being the first class citizens. Right. You understand? Look at all the benefits the so-called oppressor gets from just being a first-class citizen. Right. Whether he's on the very bottom of that first-class ship, or whether he's on the very top, whether he's the middle-class worker, the small business owner, you understand, or whether he's Warren Buffett or Bill Gates or somebody up there at the top. You know what I'm saying? You see the benefits they get as being first class citizens. Right. You understand? They get loans first. They get the first that dibs at everything. They get the first dibs at housing and the best housing, the best economic situation that they can possibly be in once they enter in from their young adulthood to adulthood. You understand? From the age of 18 to 25, they're presented with the best situation, good credit. You understand? Good name, a good patch of a good nest egg to draw from and create wealth off of. You understand? A good pathway into higher education. You understand? They are reaping all the benefits of being first class citizens. You understand? Right. And that's what this scripture is saying, that we'll be the first class citizens if we obey the Lord. You understand? You start to see why blacks, Hispanics and Native Indians, the Lord's chosen people, while we're on the bottom, is because we disobey the Lord. Because when you tell a black, Hispanic, or Native Indian man, woman, boy, or child to stop eating pork, they look at you like you just said something outlandish. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you tell them not to go to church on Sunday, they look at you like, you know, like you just told them, you know what I'm saying, that you know, that Santa Claus ain't real. They just found out that the Easter Bunny is a fake. You understand? You just, you know, killed all their hopes and inhibitions. So that's what this scripture is talking. It's talking about rulership and all the blessings that'll come if you obey the Lord's, you know, law, statutes, and commandments. Right? Is that the end of verse 1?
The beginning of verse 2.
Okay. Skip down to verse 15.
Verse 15. But it shall come to pass.
But now it's saying, but it shall come to pass. But this will happen in the future. Go ahead.
If thou wilt not.
If thou do not. If you will not. Go ahead.
Hearken.
Listen.
Unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
If you do not listen. But this will happen if you do not listen to the voice of the Lord thy God. Go ahead.
To observe, to do all his commandments.
To observe and do all his commandments. So from verse 1 down to verse 14 is telling you all the things that's going to happen if you follow the Lord's commandments. Right. You're gonna be you first class citizens. You're gonna be the lender and not the borrower. You can read it on your own time, but it goes down and tells you all the things that's gonna be that first class citizens get to experience as first class citizens. But now, if we don't listen to the voice of the Lord, our power, our authority to observe, meaning to look, and to do, meaning to put into action. But first we got to see it. We got to see somebody doing it. Who do we see doing it? Who like to observe? How does it? I want to ask the question right. So to learn something, right? To learn something, to be observationists, to learn something, to then put it in action. Describe what that's talking about. If I may be asking the question a little bit difficult.
Like a teacher or something?
Yeah, like a teacher, and a teacher is normally teaching. When did you first start learning? When do you first think it ain't hard? When do you first start to learn? When is that?
So like at birth?
And yeah, when you're a child. You understand? When you're a child. You understand? Stick your finger right there. Go to Proverbs 22:6. Hold your finger right there. It's Proverbs 22 and verse 6.
Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it.
So now, you have to train up a child. A child is trained by observing what you do. You understand? By seeing what you do, by looking at what you do. That's where the phrase comes. You have to lead by example. You understand? You can't tell your child not to smoke, and every time they see you, you got a cigarette or a blunt in your hand. You can't say, son, don't ever smoke. You can't do that. You understand? No matter how, your good intentions by you telling your son or your child not to do something, you can't then turn around and do it because they're observing, they're watching. Kids are like sponges. You understand? You can't tell your children, don't lie, don't ever lie, don't ever lie, and then you pick up the phone or something. I ain't coming in to work today. I gotta. I'm sick. I'm sick. You can't ever do that because you can't let them see you lying because they'll observe, hey, well, daddy told me not to lie, or something better, even better. You can't teach your children not to lie and then celebrate Christmas. And say, Santa's not going to bring you anything for Christmas if you don't act right. You can't say don't lie and then say, here comes Santa Claus. Or you can't tell your kids not to lie and then say, here, put the tooth under the pillow for the tooth fairy. You can't do that. Because they're gonna learn how to lie. You wanna teach a child how to lie? Start lying to them and tell them that Santa Claus is real, that the tooth fairy is real, and that the Easter bunny is gonna come, hopping along and they lay Easter eggs, and you find the Easter eggs. You wanna know why kids learn how to say things that ain't true? It's because we as parents tell them things that ain't true every day. They gotta experience us saying some imaginary fairy comes and steals their tooth from under their pillow while they sleep and leaves money there. And it's about that big. This thing is about that big as a fairy come and slides up under their pillow and leaves, $5 in exchange for their teeth. Are you kidding me? That's what we telling the kids. We telling the kids that, Santa Claus is under this tree, the kid goes off to school and then comes back home and this box is wrapped up under the tree. And they saying that Santa Claus is bringing the dropping the presents off. Santa, look what Santa done. Look what Santa did. All the meanwhile, it's you running around while they at school trying to get it before they come back trying to wrap it. You know what I'm saying? You just put it up under the box and they walk through the door. Wow, look what Santa done. You know what I'm saying? We lying to the kids, and then when they come up and you come home and all the vases in the house is broken and they standing with glass in their hand and you like, who broke these vases? And they like, I don't know. I didn't do it. You mad at them because you know they did it. Right. And don't be mad at them no more. Stop whooping these kids for lying. Because we teaching them how to lie every time we go to church on Sunday. Every time you drop, stop, roll, drop, pop, and lock it, every time on Sunday morning, you is lying to these kids. Telling these kids that some urge is coming over you. And we as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians go into these Christian churches and fall out all over in the floor, and then got the nerve to tell ourselves this so many times that we convince ourselves. We convince ourselves, and we say stuff like, well, every time I've been in trouble, I prayed the Lord and the Lord has come. That is a lie. That is a lie. You can't be sinning and smoking weed and then say every time you pray the Lord get you out of trouble and you on dialysis. You can't do it. You cannot say, Salakia, you cannot say that because dialysis is a serious thing. But you cannot keep telling yourself these lies in the Christian church. You can't keep saying every time you pray, the Lord answer your prayer and you behind on your rent. And your car needs oil changes and your tires are bald and problems are prevalent in your life. or you would just say, Lord, do it, or take it, or whatever the Christians say, and your life will be over. You'll be rich in a mansion. You understand? You wouldn't have the problems and the situations that we have here in this world. You understand? So that's how a child learns. They observe, they see what's being done, and they put it into play. That's why this scripture says, train up a child in the way that they should go, and when they're old, they won't depart from it. So just imagine, like we in the truth right now. We don't eat pork, crab, and shrimp and lobster now. Right. Now, if you've ever eaten pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster, you know that it doesn't taste foul. You know, they got a way here in this hellhole to make those roaches taste extravagant. Right. You understand? So when you pass by Red Lobster and you know the thought may enter in your mind, oh man, I remember when I used to eat lobster dinners every day. Well, that don't make you slam on brakes and go get the lobster dinner. No, you fight that demon. You keep on going. Right. You understand? When people invite us to birthday parties and Christmas celebrations, we remember when we celebrated Christmas, but now we know that this is a sin, and we just don't go. The urge to do these things becomes less and less and less and less as you go on and fight in this truth and push on in this truth. You understand? So it's not nothing. It's not. So just imagine if you were taught as a little child that you shouldn't eat pork. It would be a cinch. It would, There's children right now that are raised vegetarian, that if they even took a bite of a piece of meat, they almost get sick. So they just won't eat it. You understand? It's not hard for them to not eat the beef hamburger. They know they'll get sick. You know what I'm saying? It's not hard for them not to eat the prime rib. It's the same way for us. If we were trained up as little children to follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, then we would be a whole nation of doers. You understand? That's right. So now go back to Deuteronomy 28 and 15. Keep going.
To observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee.
All these what?
All these curses shall come upon thee.
Now, these are things that are not good. These judgments shall come upon thee if we do not obey the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. You understand? If we do obey the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, then blessings will come upon us. We'll be the first class citizens. But if we disobey the Most High, then curses will come upon us. You understand? It's not a mystery why we suffer these things in America that we suffer. That the state of Black America, of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, the Lord's chosen people, the state of our people, that it's not by mistake. It's not something that's very hard to figure out. We in the truth, the Israelite school, the UPK, under Commander General Yohana, we know why our nation is the way it is. We know why. It's very evident on why we suffer the things we suffer. It's because we don't obey the law. Right. And when I say we, I'm saying we as a nation, because if you have, that's why the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge is here. It's to teach us as a nation to follow these laws. Right. You understand? If the majority of our nation doesn't follow the laws that the Lord left for us. And since we don't, we suffer as a nation, even the ones that do follow the laws. You understand? Now, we don't suffer the judgments in here as someone would out there that's in the world. But we are still a part of this nation that's still in captivity. Salakia. That's still the last hired and the first fired inside. You know what I'm saying? We still number one in heart disease, number one in all the diseases and plagues of America. You understand? Even with the COVID virus, we was the number ones dying of the COVID virus. You understand? That's prolific. You know what I'm saying? Because we are the second class citizens. We the ones that's not we the ones on the bottom, not on the top, because we disobey the Lord. You understand? Go ahead.
And overtake thee. Verse 16.
Now go back to 68.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Now this is that ultimate, curse that we suffer, that where no one can say that they are the Lord's chosen people except for the ones who have suffered these curses. And no one has suffered the curse of being back in the house of bondage. And that's what Egypt means. Egypt is not the name of that land. You understand? Egypt, when you look at Egypt on a map, you get a world map and you see in Africa, that land on the northern part of Africa, it's sort of shaped like a square. That land is labeled on the map Egypt. But Egypt is not the biblical name of that land. You understand? The biblical name of that land is Mizraim. You understand? Mizraim. When that land was colonized by Scipio Africanus, when that land was conquered by another Roman general, Scipio Africanus, they renamed that land Egypt, and it's a Greek word that means house of bondage. It's from the Greek word Egyptos, which means house of bondage. You understand? So now the house of bondage, the Bible said if we disobey the law, statutes, and commandments, we're gonna go into the house of bondage again. And if you know anything about history, a history of the Bible, we got into Egypt as a people first with our forefather Joseph. And then you'll read about Joseph and 70 souls, 70 bodies, 70 people Israelites entered into the land of Egypt on our own free will. You understand? That's how we got into the land of Egypt. However, while in that land, we started to multiply and we were put in captivity. You understand? The prophecy said that we would go back into this house of bondage again. And this time, we wasn't going to go in there by walking, because that's how you get those lands are connected. If you look at a map right now, the land of Israel is not the Gaza Strip. The map was very different back then. So it spanned over, it spanned all the way up and almost into northern Turkey, into southern Turkey. You understand? So you have all that land mass down there at the bottom that's leading into Africa, the so-called leading into the northern part of Africa, which is the mountains of Africa, right? So it was you could easily go into that land on foot. You understand? But now this prophecy is saying we're going to go back into the house of bondage, and this time we're going to enter there with ships. So and even after we left the land of our captivity in Egypt, we still walked out. We still walked south. You understand? We walked out of the land of Egypt. So now this prophecy is saying we're going to go back into the house of bondage again with ships. You understand? So it's indicating already that house of bondage, you're going to have to go over the water to get there. You understand? It's describing the bondage, the captivity that we went into on the transatlantic slave trade. In the transatlantic slave trade, because that's how you had to get into this bondage, with ships. Ship makers, the so-called Jewish man got rich, insuring the ships, the Pinta, the Santa Maria, the ship Jesus. You understand? Those were all prominent slave ships. You understand? That carted, millions of dollars worth of cargo, which was us, back and forth across doing that transatlantic, transitioning across back and forth over the Atlantic Ocean. You see what I'm saying? So we went back into captivity with ships, and that was a prophecy in Deuteronomy if we didn't obey the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. Go ahead.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee.
Like by the way whereof Moses is speaking this. Moses is speaking this by the way of our homeland, because we after we left our homeland, it says what?
Thou shalt see it no more again.
Thou shalt see it no more again. We didn't never see our home. By the way whereof I spake unto thee. By the way, like it's saying the way where I'm coming from our homeland. We're on the route to our homeland. So by the way whereof I'm speaking this unto you, you shall see it no more again. We should never see our homeland no more again. And where are blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians right now to this day? Are we in our homeland? No, we not. So I don't know why people are saying, that this prophecy was fulfilled back when in 1948 or something, when Israel became a nation again, and some fake people that never been put on ships was set in that land claiming to be us. They never got put on slave ships. Go ahead.
And these, and there ye shall be sold.
And they never were sold. And there what?
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
You understand? They were never sold. The so-called Jewish man was never sold unto his enemy on auction blocks. Hey, I got a big buck right here. Hey, over here, I got a big nigga made right here. I got a big nigga winch right here. A big buck right here. $5 for the big. They ain't never suffered nothing like that. You understand? But they trying to, they are being passed off as the Lord's chosen people and have not suffered any of the prophecies in this book. You understand?
Right.
The so-called Holocaust with Hitler, he wasn't selling them on auction blocks. He didn't put them on transatlantic slave ships. He didn't put them on slave ships at all. I think they was on trains. You understand? And they wasn't sold into their enemies. You understand? Go ahead.
For bondmen and bondwomen.
Meaning servants. We were sold into our enemies and made to work for bondmen and bondwomen. Go ahead.
And no man shall buy you.
And no man shall buy us. Meaning no man shall free us. No man, no person shall get us out of that situation. Now, we were sold between slave owners. We were sold between, plantations. One plantation would buy these slaves from another plantation. So you went from one servitude to another servitude. You went from one serving one master to another serving another master. Right. You understand? We didn't get redeemed from this slavery. And still to this day, that so-called Juneteenth that blacks just celebrated, that's a crumb. That's a lie trying to convince us that now we have some type of freedom. We don't have no freedom, man. We don't have no freedom here in America with just what's happening to us alone here. Go ahead.
Verse 29. Chapter 29.
Oh, that was it?
Yes, sir.
Go to Zephaniah 11 and 5. Zechariah 11 and 5. Zechariah chapter 11 verse 5. And of course the Christian church wants us to believe that we free, and that's why every Christian church celebrates Juneteenth, to try to make us be happy in our situation when we still suffer. I just found out that an 18-year-old boy in High Point, North Carolina was shot 4 times in the back in the Christian church. In church, while they was jumping up and down, singing hallelujah, bashkala bashkala, hishikashi tashi. Some police officer came in the church saying that he was pursuing some kind of gang related issue, and shot the young man 4 times in the back and killed him right in the so-called house of worship. You understand? Which tell you that the Lord ain't there, man. The Lord is not in there. You can get killed in there, just like those 9 parishioners got killed in South Carolina in that church. Like, if it's not apparent to black people by now that the Lord is not in the Christian church, like, I guess the bullets we all got to die in church for us to see that the Lord is not in the church, in the Christian church. The Lord is not in there. You understand? How did this? And they said that the boy had a gun, but he didn't have no gun. So now they lying. You like lightning. I mean, as far as the Christians is concerned, lightning is supposed to come out of the sky and pick this detective up and throw him in front of everybody. Where all the power at? That's what I want to know. Where all the power? Right. You understand? Where's all this? Where this at? Where that at? Where is this at? You understand? Right. Like, that don't happen in here, man. It's not gonna happen in here. You ain't gotta worry about some detective chasing some one of our brothers in here. Number one, because we're not criminals, man. Right. You understand? We don't advocate criminal activity. You understand? We teach our brothers and sisters in here not to break the law, not to get in trouble with the law. You understand? Right. And also too, we don't allow other nations in our structures, man. That's right. We don't allow other nations in our structure. If you got a problem, you at the door. You understand? We ain't gonna allow you to just come up in here and just be in here. Nah, man. Nah, it don't work that way. It don't work that way, man. So if you want some protection, if you want to be protected, if you want to feel safe, if you want to not die while you so-called doing the so-called work of the Lord or not Salakia. If you want to not die while you learning about the Lord, then come up in the ISUPK, man, because you ain't gonna get shot while you up in here. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna get attacked while you up in here. You know what I'm saying? There's safety in these four walls, man. There's safety in here. Go ahead.
Zechariah chapter 11, verse 5. Whose possessors slain them?
Whose what?
Whose possessors slain them?
Meaning, when we were sold on those slave ships, we became the possession of some other nation, some other people. And these possessors, they slay us, man. They slay us. Go ahead.
And hold themselves not guilty.
And hold themselves not guilty. Now, that same detective that killed that young man in High Point, the district attorney just dropped all the magistrate or whatever, just dropped all charges. Say he done nothing wrong. Say he done nothing wrong, and they tried to say the young brother had a gun and didn't find no gun, no gunpowder residue on the boy's hand or nothing. The boy didn't have no gun. You know what I'm saying? He shot him in the back trying to run. You know what I'm saying? While he was up trying to. No doubt he had a tambourine in his hand. I don't know. I'm just saying, but he's in there trying to praise the Lord or whatever they call it, whatever they say they're in there doing. You know what I'm saying? And the police officer, the oppressor, the possessor, comes in and slays him, kills him, murders him in cold blood. Just imagine you at a concert, which that's what the Christian church is. It's just a concert. You know what I'm saying? You at a concert, the music thumping, boom, boom, boom. You clapping your hands, right? And all of a sudden, this cat start taking off running. Well, this white man is running across the room with him. He pulls out a gun in front, like it could have been so much collateral damage. He could have missed. He could have shot another person instead. Bullets ricochet, all that. He pulls out the gun and just like John Wick or something. That cop probably thought he was John Wick. He in there pulling out the gun in a crowded room, and he pulls out the gun and bow, 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 shoots the dude in the back, and I bet you he felt like he was Super Cop, like he was, like he was RoboCop or something. In the middle of, can you just imagine the cats on the instruments like. You know what I'm saying? I want to know what the pastor was. I want to know why the pastor wasn't throwing his body in the way like, the shepherd, because he over your soul. He was too busy up under the little podium thing. That little podium thing that go around. He was probably tucked in the cubby hole in there. That's what he was. That is something, man. That is sad. That is sad. And the boy's mother was saying about how that they was falsifying evidence, how that they was trying to put her son having a weapon. You know what I'm saying? Her son had no criminal record. You know what I'm saying? He was just turning 18. You know what I'm saying? Just about to get his life started. And here he is murdered in cold blood, man. And the same, and the police officer that did it gets off scot-free. And she turns around and says, she doesn't hate him. She doesn't hate him, she forgives him. Because that's the only way we can move forward is through forgiveness. And she always, people ask her all the time, how does she do it? How she always have a smile on her face, because she know something about where the Lord brought her from or something like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like what it really is really a slave mentality, not being able to mourn for the loss of your loved ones. And I'm gonna show you. Keep your hand right there. Go to Psalms 137. Psalms 137. Psalms 137, start at verse 1. This is a book that David wrote, a psalm that David wrote, more like Psalms 83, man. You know what I'm saying? Why the Christian church always say Psalms is such a happy book. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It's not, man. You know what I'm saying? You know. In Israel today, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we got songs that we sing that are upbeat, up tempo, but we got a lot of hurt in our music, man. It's a lot of heartbreak in our music. You ever heard an R&B song? You ever heard of some 112, some Jagged Edge song, some Boys and Men joint, where they just singing their heart out for some woman that they done lost? Something done happened. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't just all the time just sing happy. It's not all the time peaches and cream, man. Right. You understand? Go ahead, start at verse 1.
Psalm 137, verse 1. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down.
That David saying, by the rivers of Babylon, we was in captivity in Babylon. You understand? Babylon was a known captivity of Israel. You understand? And the Babylonians were the Africans. They were an African nation, an African tribe that had us in captivity under them. Go ahead.
Ye, we wept.
Yea.
Yea, we wept.
Yea, we wept. You understand? We wept, man. We was by the rivers of Babylon and we was weeping, man. Go ahead.
When we remembered Zion.
When we remembered our homeland, man. When we remembered our homeland being when we was in captive in Babylon, we knew where we were from. We had history of our people. Our identity wasn't taken away from us. So if there was any children born and the young men, the older men, they remembered Zion. They remembered that when they was in power, when David remembered his father, you know what I'm saying, when they reigned. You understand? He remembered, man. Go ahead.
Verse 2. We hanged our hearts.
He hanged our what?
We hanged our hearts.
They did what?
We hanged our hearts.
You ever walked in a music store and seen the guitars hanging on the wall?
Right.
That's what he's talking about. David played a harp, which is today, would be a guitar. And even today, if you see some older cats in their 60s, they'll say they play the harp. And they ain't talking about the thing where you sit on and they ain't talking about that. They talking about the guitar, man. The string instrument. You understand? It's a string instrument. They call it a harp. That's slang all day. That's how you know this black people talking. Because David never. I saw some picture of David the killer. This is the same David that had the slingshot that killed Goliath, right?
Right.
The same David that took that same slingshot and killed like a lion and a bear. Like, a bear? Are you kidding me? With a slingshot. This was a killer. He was a stone cold killer. I saw a picture, a Caucasian painting of David, and it had him with one of those little Cupid harps with the little 4 strings on it, that's like that you cradle it like a baby,
right, and
you play it like that. It had him looking. He was like looking like, like a 9 to a homosexual, man. You understand? And it was gut wrenching to me, because I knew that the harp that David played wasn't the harp that they had painted in his hand. It wasn't talking about. That's how you know that these other nations can't interpret these scriptures, man. They don't even know that a harp is a guitar. Right. They don't even know it. You know what I'm saying? So now he playing the lyre. He's playing the guitar. You understand? He said they hang their harp. They hung their harps. Like he wasn't only him. They hung their harps on the willow trees. And that's what you do to a guitar, so you won't damage it. If it falls, or if you just lay it down, you'll bust it out of tune and stuff. Right. So you got to hang it up. You understand? Right. That's the best way to store it. So they would hang their harps on the willow trees. Go ahead.
Upon the willow. And the midst thereof. Verse 3. For there they that carried us away captive.
For there they that carried us away captive. David is remembering how his nation was carried away captive. Go ahead.
Required of us a song.
Required of us what?
Required of us a song.
We couldn't be sad, man. We couldn't be sad because they was putting us in chains, clipping us up, locking us, chaining us together. We couldn't be upset about that. And that's just how the oppressor works, man, which is so, he's such a bastard, man. He's such a heartless piece of garbage that he'll put a people in captivity and kill your loved ones in front of you, and then you're not supposed to mourn about it. You're not supposed to be sad about it. You're not supposed. You wonder why the Christian church, all they do is a big concert. It's because it's so much hurt and pain and degradation. It's so much being downtrodden. It's so much being grind to piss in the Christian church. You gotta sing a lot. You gotta sing a lot. You gotta come in there. That's the only way they can keep you in there, is to try to cheer you up from the whole week that you had to suffer under this oppression, man. So they gotta sing, make you happy, happy. That's why it's a big old concert in there. That's why every 5 minutes they like, get up, clap your hands. Come on, clap your hands. Get up, wave your hands in the air. Say hallelujah. Come on, clap your hands. They gotta pump you up because they know that you're hurt. They know that you're damaged. They know that you've been through so much that some people just want to break down. You know what I'm saying? When they come into that Christian church, so they gotta be cheered up. So you can be a good, effective slave come the next morning, because right after the Sunday morning, boom, you back at slavery. You back on your slave again. You understand? Go ahead.
And they that waste us require of us mirth.
Meaning mirth is to be happy. They that wasted us required us to be happy. You understand? You look at you see here in America, when you start talking about the oppression of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, the oppressor all the time comes out and say, "What's wrong? Why are you complaining?" Our women get the title of being angry black women. We get the title of being angry black men. All the time you hear us being talked about as black women just got attitudes. They just got attitudes for no reason. You understand? Like, well, this the best place to be. Why she got an attitude for no reason? You understand? When our sisters deserve, I ain't gonna say deserve, but I understand where it's coming from. It's coming from oppression, man. It's coming from being oppressed and having to be happy about it. You understand? That'll damage anybody, let alone a sister, let alone a woman. That'll damage you, man. That'll do some psychological, things in your head to you that you need therapy for. You gotta be happy while you being oppressed, while you under so much stress. You know, you ever see sisters just, you know, under so much stress and they just always got to keep it together. They always got to keep it together. That's what this nation has become. This nation has become a nation full of stressed out people, and we got to keep it together.
Right.
You understand? We're not allowed to have any emotion. You understand? When we have emotion, oh, we're rowdy. We're obnoxious. We're loud. We're too loud.
Right.
You understand? We can't have any feeling about anything. You understand? Our oppressor gets threatened when we talk. If we raise our voice, our oppressor is threatened. He's in fear for his life. He thinks, you know, the words are going to form bullets and kill him. That's how he feels when a black man gets any passion about what he's saying. Hey, man, why you pull me over, man? You can't pull me over like this. He feels that the words coming out your mouth are going to form Voltron and slit his throat. So he automatically pulls his gun and shoots you because you just attacked him. That's the world we live in, man. That's the world we live in. Where they require us, where no matter what's done to us, they require us to be happy. They require mirth out of us, man. They always ask, well, what's wrong with you? Why you so mad all the time? I used to get asked that question all the time. Why you so loud? Why you loud all the time? You understand? When I'm not loud, I'm just passionate, man. Anybody, you ever been to a barbershop with a group of brothers talking about the football game? You can, man, get out of here. You can't even hear yourself thinking now. I don't understand it. I don't understand how people think I'm loud. And you go to the barbershop every weekend. You understand? I ain't been to a barbershop. I ain't been to a barbershop in decades. I don't even know what one look like on the inside no more. You understand? But then I'm loud. But you go hear Tukey and Nuck them at the barbershop every weekend holler and scream at the top of their lungs about how many, threes, Chris Paul or some, LeBron James or somebody, didn't hit or hit. Salakia. Go ahead.
Sing us one of the songs of Zion.
Saying, sing us one of those songs of Zion, man. And that's been our oppressor's MO for a long time. Always wanting us to be his entertainment. Always wanting us. You seen the movie Roots? You see how Fiddler, you see how his attitude was to keep playing the fiddle. You understand? Like, no matter what his day was, no matter what type of oppression that he went through, if he could just play that fiddle, boink, boink, you know what I'm saying? If he could just play that fiddle. And then one day, of course, the main character, you know what I'm saying? He I guess Kunta Kinte was supposed to have been a black man. He talking about how, he gonna get free and blah, 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 blah. They old men. Now they done been in captivity. All they old men. They gray haired and, feeble. You know what I'm saying? They old men and Fiddler say, well, I'm gonna play this song. I'm gonna get this fiddle ready. And he's talking about, how he gonna get free. And he wondered why Fiddler ain't started playing the song yet. He reached over there and tapped Fiddler dead. And died. He done died playing that fiddle. You know what I'm saying? Like a good old slave. And they made sure they put that part in. They made sure they made sure that they didn't show how the slave ever escaped. How he might have tried till they chopped his foot off, and he just was like, they chopped my foot off, I can't run no more, I might as well just stay. I might as well accept that I'm a slave, and I'm going to be a slave forever. And so he grew old, and and got a family on it, you know what I'm saying? And then he suffered all the turmoil of slavery, having his daughter taken away from him after she was a grown woman, you know what I'm saying? Having his daughter stripped from him, you know what I'm saying? And sold to another plantation, left him and his old wife alone, you understand? Then have his, you know, to be sitting there just old and working himself to the goddamn bone. And then his one friend fiddler that he had that you know, befriended him as a young boy, then fiddler kills over and dies. And what does that say? That look, you in this by yourself, accept it, grow old, and dwell on the good times. Remember fiddler for what the good old fiddle plays that he used to strum out, and just be sad and work yourself to the bone, and you'll get your great reward in the by and by. Fiddler gone now, and he up in it, and that's what he said too. He said, I hope you playing the fiddle in the sky, fiddler. I hope you playing the fiddle in the sky, fiddler. You freeze now, fiddler. Good night, man. Where you at?
Verse 4.
Verse
4. How shall we sing the Lord's song in a strange land?
How should we sing the Lord's song in a strange land, man? How should we do it in a strange land, man? And that's how all of us should feel. That's how everybody should feel when they try to make us, you know, conform to this place and try to make us be happy. How can you want to know why black people have such a attitude? Why black men are labeled as angry black men? How can we be happy in this place, man? How can we be happy in a place where our daughters are made to be whores, man? Where our sons are made to be homosexuals, man? Where we are downtrodden and no one ever, where we are shot 4 times in the back in church and no one ever pays for their crimes, man. Keep going.
Verse 5. If I forget thee, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget her cunning.
Man, David said, look at it. Nah, man, damn that. If I forget my homeland, which every black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, man, that's in Isupk, I applaud you, man. I applaud you because when the truth of our homeland came to you, you did not back down and run away from it. You embraced it, man. You was like, oh, that's me. I'm the real Jew. That's right. That's right. You know, I'm home now. You know what I'm saying? Like I did the same thing. I was wondering, like, well, damn, well, the so-called Caucasian, he's got his origins. You know, his great grandfather and his generations back, and he has some, some family trinket where this was the marble of my great grandfather. He has got this little star in it that looks like the universe, cosmos spinning around. You know what I'm saying? Like they got little trinkets and stuff where their family members leave them and stuff where it's whole sentimental value to them about their lineage and their heritage. Oh yeah, man, we own this house out in the woods where don't nobody stay there no more, but my great granddaddy used to stay there, and I go out there every now and then. We keep it up, and you know what I'm saying. He got his old stuff and his old trinkets. He used to be an engineer, and he got his old tools in there and stuff, and he keeps it in there every now and then, and we always remember granddad. You know what I'm saying? When we can't have a granddad because granddad got shot 4 times in the back.
Right.
And then they ask us, well, what's wrong with you? And then everybody says when you start talking about slavery, they say, well, I didn't own slaves. Well, I didn't do nothing to you.
Right.
When you know, when it's so dismissive. You understand? Like you don't have nothing to do with me, and I don't have nothing to do with this sister. When every white person got something to do with every white person on the planet. You understand? They'll dismiss me and you as brothers and say, well, they'll say, well, I didn't own you as a slave. Nah, but you own my family, man. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You own black people. But you can't understand why I'm mad generations later when you own my forefathers. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? When so-called white people remember 9/11 right now, when it had nothing to do with their family. They remember 9/11 every year. And those white people that died in that building had nothing to do with them. How about this? They remember how the bombs bursted in air on 4th of July, and none of them was any kin. Supposedly. They try to let you think that. You understand? Yeah, they try to let you think that they wasn't some kin to none of those forefathers. Come on, man. All of them forefathers is some kin to every white person you see here, man. Unless they just recently got over here. Unless they still damn near got the accent. You understand? But Salakia. And then all of them some kin. They one family, man. They are one family. They're one family. Like we are all one family. And the nerve of them to try to make us forget our family, man. And that's the gaudy audacity of the oppressor. And that's this scripture right here where he makes us, he says, well, sing us one of those old songs of Zion. He requires of us mirth. You understand? David said, man, I'm not going to forget my homeland. I'm not going to just be happy. You know what I'm saying? If I forget my homeland, let my right hand forget her cunning. Meaning, if you right hand dominant, that's what you do. Your right hand holds all your power. Like for him to kill them bears, he was slinging that junk with his right hand. For him to play that guitar, that's his dominant hand. You see what I'm saying? That he's saying, let his right to fight. That's your dominant hand. Even in boxing. You know what I'm saying? There's an orthodox stance. You know what I'm saying? There's an orthodox stance for a righty and a lefty. You stand with your weak hand lead, your right hand back, your strong hand back. That's you know what I'm saying? That's the stance because it favors the strong hand. Now David said, if he forget his homeland, let his right hand let him forget how to fight. You understand? And that's what we've done here in America. We've forgotten how to fight, man. We've taken the elixir of America and the Christian church, and we forgot how to fight for our people.
Right.
You understand? Keep going.
Verse 6. If I do not remember them, if I do not remember thee, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth.
We all get that, man. David saying, let him die, man. David saying, let him die, let him pass away. If he don't remember Jerusalem, man, let his tongue cleave to the roof of his mouth, man. You understand? Let him go ahead and get up out of here, man. You understand? And that's how we feel in the Isupk. You know what I'm saying? We rather die than forget our ancestors, forget our forefathers, man. Forget about Christ and his sacrifice. Forget about the sacrifices of the men before us. You understand? We'd rather die. We'd rather die than to break the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, man.
That's right.
You understand? So go back to Zechariah 11.
Verse 5.
Zechariah
11, verse 5. Whose possessor slain them, and hold them not guilty. And they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord.
You understand? That's how the people that's buying us, that's their mentality. You want to know why the Caucasian, the oppressor feels no remorse when he kills us? Is because he thinks it's his God-given right to do so. You understand? That's why he's saying, blessed be the Lord. Go ahead.
Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich.
For I am what?
For I am rich.
And that's how they got through the transatlantic slave trade. They got very rich. America got very rich off the number one export, in America was cotton. You understand? It was cotton. Well, it was Salakia. The number one commodity was the slave for a long time.
Right.
You understand? And the number one resource that America offered was the cotton. You understand? The cotton, it funded everything. It did everything. You know what I'm saying? All your clothes and everything is made from cotton. You see what I'm saying? All your fabrics and all the tablecloth. Just think about how much is made from cotton, man. You understand? Like a lot of stuff is made from cotton. So America got very rich off of the cotton trade and off of trading with these other countries and nations with the commodities that was coming from America. And a big one was cotton, and they was getting it for free. They was getting it free labor, man. They had no overhead, very little overhead. So just imagine making millions of dollars and your overhead is $200. It costs you $200 for the whole year to manage your slaves. You understand? Like a fraction, and all you really giving them is the scraps of what you don't eat. And you build them, you make them build little shacks themselves. You give them the bare minimum to build a shack. And that shack is cold because it's a dirt floor. You don't give them enough material to really do anything. And you don't allow them to get any material to do any more. You know what I'm saying? Like the captivity that we were in, the captivity that we in surpasses, any captivity that you may think about in modern day, in modern times. You know what I'm saying? The captivity that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians went through is astronomical, man. And we still in it. We're still in this captivity. We still don't have our identity. We still don't have our culture. And the nation that did it to us is wondering why we're so mad. What's wrong with them? What is wrong with them? We don't whip their backs no more. We don't have them stay in shacks no more. They can get out and buy themselves, they can go out and work a job and buy themselves a car, buy themselves nice clothes. That's what the oppressor thinks. The oppressor thinks that it's okay now. Because you can get things that you can have a way of life that's better than you had when you had to live on the plantation. What is it? Your style of life or your way of life is just better. Even though you're still a slave. You understand? Even though you're still a slave, you're still in captivity, you still have to punch that clock. If you don't, they put your community is, you are shoved into poverty. You know what I'm saying? You 2 checks away from, losing everything. House, car, 2 cars, you know what I'm saying? Some of us 1 check. Even some of us, if there's a discrepancy with the paperwork next week, we're done. We're done. It's over. It's over. No. That's it. I only had this week. That's it. That's it. If the job come up and say it's a system crash, we can't pay everybody until next week. We're gonna pay you for 2 weeks, but it's just gonna be next week. Oh man. Every black person that worked there is gonna be in utter turmoil. Like, what are you saying? I didn't hear you correctly. Are you gonna come in and they're gonna kick me out this week? I know they're coming to get the car this week. I know they're coming. They're coming. You see what I'm saying? Like, we are just that close to, disasters happening. And it's because of our condition of being second-class citizens in this place. You see what I'm saying? Keep going.
For I am rich, and their own shepherds.
And they're what?
And their own shepherds.
And they're what?
And their own shepherds.
Those pastors, those money-grubbing bastards, those ones in those tailored suits that's taking the money that we're giving in the Christian church, thinking that we're giving our way out of poverty. They convince us that something that's magical in the scriptures. They convince us to give them money, and they take that money and they get rich.
That's right.
You understand? They get the Learjet. They get the fancy car. They get the Rolls Royce. You understand? They get the tailored suits. They live in the nice house. They get their wives the Lamborghini truck. You know what I'm saying? They get their kids go to the private schools. You understand? Meanwhile, the congregation is suffering. Meanwhile, the congregation has barely got enough money to put gas in the car to make it through the week. Meanwhile, the congregation got to eat oodles and noodles and then act like everything is all right. Come to church and be like, yes, Jesus. Got to act like, got to put on the facade like everything is okay. When everything is not okay because the pastor is rich. He don't pity them. The ones that's getting, killed and oppressed. He don't pity them. Everything is okay. Go ahead.
And their own shepherds pity them not. Verse 6. For I will no more pity the inhabitants of the land.
Like the Lord saying he ain't gonna no more pity. He ain't gonna have no more pity on the inhabitants of the land no more. You understand? All this is going on, and that's why we constantly say in the UPK, you think the Lord is not seeing this? You think the Lord is going to allow this to keep happening? You think the Lord is going to allow these Christian big-headed preachers to keep robbing black people blind and not come back and do something? That's crazy, man. That's not a just God. We wouldn't be serving a just God if that was to happen. That's why we keep saying, woe to these pastors, man. We keep warning the pastors, look, you have to change. You have to come out of that Christian church. You have to come into this truth. You have to stop deceiving the people. You have to stop lying to the people. You have to stop doing this. You understand? It's warning after warning that's coming to the Christian church from the Isupk. From the Isupk, from the commanding general Yohana, and everybody, all the generals and all the captains, all the officers, you understand? We keep pushing it to the Christian church. We keep pushing it and pushing it. Hey, you gotta change, man. Destruction is coming. We going out on the street corners on the weekend saying destruction is coming. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth. Destruction is coming. Go ahead.
Says the Lord. But, lo, I will deliver the men, every one into his neighbor's hands.
He's going to deliver the men, every one, into his neighbor's hands. You understand? Go ahead.
And into the hand of his king. And they shall smite the land.
And they shall what?
They shall smite the land.
Spell smite.
S-M-I-T-E.
And they shall smite the land. Go ahead.
And out of their hand I will not deliver thee.
They ain't gonna get delivered out of the hand of their neighbor. You understand? He's gonna drive all these Christian pastors are gonna have to answer for what they've been doing. He's gonna deliver them into when it says that neighbor's hand, it ain't talking about the neighbor meaning the one that's beside him. Your neighbor is your family. You understand? So these big-headed black pastors gonna be delivered to the hands of the community, the hands of black people, and the Lord ain't gonna be there to deliver them. And they're going to have to give an account for what they've been doing with the church's money. You understand? They're going to have to give an account, man. You understand? You can't say that about Commander General Yohana, because these schools is popping up, and he and you can see what's happening with the money. You know what's going on with the money. You know what I'm saying? Schools is popping up left and right, and Commander General Yohana ain't getting in a Learjet flying nowhere. You understand? He don't have the Rolls Royce getting out with the chauffeur with the suicide doors. You understand? He come in a regular car. So like it, I'm not laughing, but we had the Passover, right? And we looking, we having a good time, and all of a sudden we see these SUVs rolling up. And we like, oh, that's Commander General Yohana. And everyone is like oblivious to this. And I want to know if people really realize what was going on. If people really realize, like, if that was a Christian pastor, man, it would have been a helicopter. It would have been it would have been like a Learjet. Everybody would have had to clear it out. Man, this dude rolled through in a couple of rented black Suburbans, man. Come on, man. Come on, in a van. And I think everybody else was riding in the black Suburbans. He gets out of the minivan. Come on, man. Like, that's the brother I'm serving. That's the brother I'm riding for right there. You understand? I got him. I'm with him. You understand? Because I know that when the chips is down, he ain't gonna leave me hanging. You understand? He gonna be rolling just like I'm rolling. You understand? If I got to ride in the jalopy, Commander General Yohana gonna be like, hey man, how you doing, brother? We gonna be right there in the jalopy together, man. If I get fortunate and I'm riding in the Lamborghini, Commander General Yohana gonna be like, this is a nice Lamborghini, man. I like this. You know what I'm saying? That's what's up. That's a leader, man.
That's right.
A leader ain't gonna have ain't gonna leave the people in the dust. While we back here like, hey, throw us, like, what about us? And he like, he get off in the limousine. He ain't roll up in a limousine. He ain't roll up in the Hummer Stretch limousine. He roll up in a minivan. Salakia, man. That's the brother I'm serving, man.
That's right.
That's the brother I'm serving. I ain't got to look no further, man. Because if it was a Christian pastor, he would have rolled up in the black stretch Rolls Royce limousine, the finest thing he could possibly get. It would have been a helicopter pad out there. He would have landed in the helicopter. He would have tried to make the thing as extravagant as he possibly could, man. Because that's what the Christian church is all about, show. It's all about how much you can do, how much I can do, how tailored my suits are, how big my pinky ring is, how more expensive my car is than yours, man. You know what I'm saying? And they doing it all with grandmother's light money, with auntie's car payment. You understand? Right. With your cousin's mortgage payment, man. They doing it with everybody's sacrifice. And they ain't sacrificing nothing, man. They ain't sacrificing not one thing.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Where you at, brother?
Verse 7.
Verse
7. And I will feed the flock of slaughters, even you, O poor of the flock. And I took unto me 2 stacks.
That we're gonna stop right there. We're gonna stop right there. Read that. Is that verse 7?
Verse 7, yes, sir.
Okay, hold on. Let me get that. Let me get that 1 second. Let me see if I can get that with you. Okay, go ahead at verse 7.
And I will feed the flocks of slaughter, even you.
He said, the Most High said he'll feed the flock of slaughter. You understand? The ones that's been eaten up. You understand? He's going to feed us himself. You understand? He trusted. It was up to the shepherds. You know what I'm saying? Our shepherds pitied us not. You understand? So he's gonna allow them to be turned over to the people. You understand? He's gonna allow them to have to answer to the people who they, bamboozled and conned out of their money. You understand?
Right.
And he's gonna feed the flock. Go ahead. He's gonna feed the flock of slaughter. Go ahead.
O poor of the flock.
Even you, O poor of the flock. We the poor. You understand? Those ones that can't pay their light bill. You understand? We are the poor of the flock. You understand? Go ahead.
And I took unto me 2 staffs. The one I call beauty. And the other I call bands. And I fed the flock.
Right. And the Lord is just making a metaphor that he took 2 staves. One he called beauty, one he called bands, and he fed the flock. You understand? I'm gonna get more clarity on the bands part, but on the beauty, you know what I'm saying? Like of course everybody think about something poor, being ugly and downtrodden. You know what I'm saying? And something that nobody wants. So he took those staves, the one called beauty and the other called bands, and he fed the flock. Meaning he when it says feed the flock, it means like he built us up. You know what I'm saying? Right. He ain't gonna leave us in that low state. He's gonna bring us up. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna now take care of us. Right. You understand? So with that was a extensive breakdown on Deuteronomy 28. The brother had a question. I didn't quite get to my topic tonight, but we'll get into that a little later, of course. Clap it up. We're gonna end it right here. So tomorrow is the language class. Come back, join us tomorrow for the language class. We're gonna start promptly at 7:00, and we're gonna get into our ancient language that where we learn the Hebrew, or we learn the Hebrew language, and we learn how to speak the language of our forefathers. All right. With that, I'll read the announcements. 1 second. All right. So these are Isupk security announcements. We are the Isupk under Commander General Yohana. Started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6-month period in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18:21. Malachi 3:8-10 means 10th in the Hebrew, ma'ashara, 10th of every penny of any increase that the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or the teacher. Priest fund is a free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. upcoming Holy Convocations. The next upcoming Holy Convocation is September the 6th, y'all. And it is the memorial blowing of trumpets. Of course, I went into a little bit about how, we commemorate the blowing of trumpets like we do in the Sabbath service. And that whole thing commemorates the blowing of trumpets to alert Israel of the gathering together, the alert of, the blowing of trumpet during the Sabbath day, the blowing of trumpet to alert of danger, to the assemble the armies. Like, there was certain trumpet blows that would signify different things in Israel, and that's what that commemorates. So it's the memorial blowing of trumpets. It's the first day of the 7th month. It'll be Monday, September the 6th. And you can find that in the book of Leviticus 23, verse 24 through 25. Let me see. If anyone wants to become a trooper in the school, start wearing all black. That's black boots, pants, shirt, headband, and scarf. And with that, Amijim. All right, Wapinya Kudum means the and face the east. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakwithka, Taba'ah, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Baharataza, Kawa, Hayah, Ashemayim, Lathanalau, Lakum, Cow, Yawam, Wasalaknawa, Kabawatnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawathiyanawa, Wala'ah, Tabaya'anawa, Banasaya 1, Abal, Hawashanawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wa'ala, Wahathaparath, Liwalumium, Aman. In English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Saw means to turn. Sister, be seated. Yeshab. Men of Israel, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher. Man of Israel, Imam Shabbat, Amijim, Barak. Barak means to salute. And you say the salute.
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah Barakatah.
Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah Barakatah. Good job. Yajamata means hands down. Saul, we're going to turn and face the sister. Sister Amadium. Saul, we give one courtesy salute to the sister, man of Israel, Imam Shabbat. Amadium. Barak, Yahweh Shema Alatah Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. Yajamata, class dismissed.